Live notification. What's up, gentlemen?
Nothing.
Oh, we didn't do that this time. We did do the thumbnail. Should we do the thumbnail live? That'd be kind of funny.
I got blue tongue. No, I don't. I think we should keep the thumbnails normal. I don't want to be one of those people in every thumbnail with like the crazy fucking clickbait title.
Now turn into a meme.
Yeah, probably pretty quickly.
That's part of the fun.
So I'm here Karening with my White Claw, leaning into it. Actually, this is the first time I tried it. I wanted it to taste good. It does not.
It doesn't.
Not even a little bit.
I was forced to drink one of those seltzers one night when they had nothing else available, and I was like, I don't understand the appeal of this. It tastes like weird seltzer water that's not as good as regular seltzer water.
Exactly. I like club soda. I like it when it's flavored, and it just flavored bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I need to be, 24 and wearing a sundress to really appreciate the flavors. I'm not sure.
It's probably once you get a half dozen deep, they're all tasting fine.
Yeah, it's probably.
I just want to get drunk, and I can't. I think the same thing about White Claw.
It's fair. It's fair.
What does Randy King say? I drink for effect, not for flavor.
Well, I see that I kind of felt like that before, but nowadays I can actually appreciate decent alcohol. And so the idea of drinking bad alcohol just doesn't make sense to me. But today I was like, you know what? People keep talking about these, and I'm not going to do the stereotypical thing and be like, oh, I would never drink that. If it tastes good, it tastes good. And it doesn't. It really does not.
But the only way to know is to try it. Totally respect.
Only with scholar's courage and threatening ridicule. But anyway, what are we talking about today, gentlemen? I believe we're talking about how do we know that we are moving the needle? How do we know that we are doing what we think we're doing, what we hope we're doing? How do we know that what we're putting out works? And not necessarily purely on the physical, technical side, but how do we know that the full spectrum approach that we take really produces what we want it to produce? How do you measure?
I want Malcolm to go first for once.
Okay. I don't. The end. No, I don't. All I can do is have three different lenses, or at least ideally these three different lenses, maybe more if people think of better ones. One is experiential. Did it work ideally for me or someone whom I genuinely trust? I know I can vet the story at least to some degree. And hopefully a bunch of people. Two, at the conceptual level, does it line up with what I know about the field and what others whom I trust or can vet say? Does it line up with the realities we understand it? And then three, statistically, does it jive with the information that's out there? Knowing that that information is generally terrible and that there's not a lot of it, but if I can check those three boxes, I feel more comfortable with it, but everything works and nothing works. So I hope, and that's part of the great, if you reframe it, that's part of the great process of this. You can always get better, no matter how good your shit is, because there's no way that you got 100% success rate unless you are out here doing some wildly unethical shit and attacking people in the street on purpose just to see if it works.
No, Cato, no.
Rory, go.
Big picture, small picture stuff. I'm not worried about whether or not the techniques work, the actual physical stuff, because those are almost all back engineered. There's stuff that did work, that we knew worked, that we trusted, and it was just a matter how to teach them. Mm-hmm. Whether the needle is being moved societally, there's no way to know, and I really don't care. I don't believe in groups. Everyone I've ever seen bleed was an individual. Individuals are who I'm trying to help. That's what I matter is each person being better. I have enough feedback to be confident, and then because if you do this long enough, you will get the 2:00 in the morning phone call. It's, oh my God, I almost didn't make home last night. Thank you. Or the email or the feedback. I especially feel grateful when it's not one of my students, but a student of a student who who heard a voice in their head at the right time and fought and won. The in that one specifically is, you do not have my permission to die. You do not have my permission to die. Start running through their head when they needed it. So there's that, and in class you can see people change.
Hmm.
Um, that's huge. And when you come back the next year and they're different, a couple times I've not recognized them because when I first met them, they were just meek, shy.
Do you want to give him a shout out? Would he appreciate it?
No, they're still a little bit shy.
Copy.
Um, but one of them was at the 500 Rising this time and taught a class. And this is someone that 5 years ago could not speak above a whisper, could not make eye contact.
And may or may not be in our waiting room right now for the Zoom call.
Woo!
Yeah, entirely possible. So super proud. And then the last thing I'm going to say before I pass on to Paul, at the same time, I'm absolutely certain I don't move the needle. I do nothing. The students do all the damn work. No one can pump your iron for you. No one can get in their play. No one can face their fears. I hope that I'm helpful in helping them to do that. But in the end, everyone helps themselves. You can't make, it's one of our kind of idea. We try to make strong people. We can't make anyone stronger. We can just try to show them a map and maybe whisper some words in their ear so that they get stronger. But they're the ones that do all the work and they deserve all the credit for it.
Damn it, Miller, you stole one of my lines. I've been saying to students for a long time, there's nothing I can't do the work for you, right? They're like, oh, but they get happy about a belt promotion or weight loss or a heavier weight they're able to move. They got stronger in some fashion, some demonstrable fashion to their own eyes. And they thank me. And I'm like, I used to say MapQuest, but nobody uses that anymore. So that's how long I've been using the reference. So I'm just your GPS. You got to do the driving. You got to put the work in. You got to put the reps in. I can't do any of that for you. Out of the three of us, I have the benefit of a long-term, unintentional longitudinal study on, I see people over time. I have students for 10 years and what they were and what they become and what they go on to be. Like if they go off to college or if they go to a new job, they move around, whatever. As Rory, as you said, the physical part, you get feedback, right? Obviously in class, if it works, it works in a hands-on environment. You kind of know pretty quickly if it does or does not work. But, and I suspect we've had this conversation before, like every martial art owner, school instructor wants to be the one teaching the police. And I think that's because they're searching for confirmation of what they do.
Absolutely.
I have a suspicion, and I will tell you, I'm not a force professional. I get to just teach this stuff and enjoy myself. My students who are force professionals, when they come back and they're like, hey, that thing you showed us 2 weeks ago, I got to use that. It worked really well. You kind of nice confirmation. It works. That's kind of neat, right? So there's the physical play and the report back. That's so fantastic. Since I'm the one who works with kids, like young kids, how do you move the needle on kids? Like what's the kids, for the most part, kids' biggest threat is some variation of bullying or, Malcolm, we talk about threat awareness based upon the environment that they're in. You don't bully-proof kids by teaching them how to punch people in the throat. You bully-proof kids by making them more confident. Confidence kids are really poor targets for bullies. And, what we do flat out makes kids more confident. Almost any martial art does. It doesn't really matter. They're struggling, they're failing, they're moving forward, they're learning, they're getting better, they're growing in confidence and self-esteem. On the adult level, I joke that it's an N of 1. Every time a student comes back, hopefully not reporting a physical altercation, but they had the confidence to interact with their boss in a different way and set a boundary. And this creepy dude at work, they told him to fuck off or whatever they did. In the instance that they need to use something physical because it came to that, you get a N of 1, you get that singular example, but you get to see some small way, shape, or form that you move the needle. And if you make your tiny little world a little bit better, arguably you've made the rest of the world a little bit better.
So faith.
To a certain extent, blue sky, is that the term? It's
I think it is interesting though, in light of the 500 Rising event recently, where there's an overt emphasis on moving the needle on the large scale. Like the idea is changing gradually the society in a way that makes it harder to do certain things. It makes it harder for predators to pick targets because they don't know who's who and what's what anymore. It makes me wonder whether or not it is incumbent upon all of us who ideally want to build up a world of stronger individuals to have a larger vision. Like, if I'm terrified at the idea of Rory rewriting the world, but I'm kind of curious at what that would look like.
No, I don't. No, this is one of the things. I don't want a big vision. I don't like the idea of a big vision. It's because the world is made up of people and things that are not big, and it sounds terrible. Basically, the people with the big vision tends to trample people.
Yeah, sure. That'd be kind of backwards.
That's the opposite of what it's about. Exactly, it's backwards. If I could, wave the magic wand and make the world in the image I wanted, the primary image would be everyone feeling confident enough to do what the fuck they wanted, to not be afraid, to not feel like they have to kiss ass to survive, to all the little things holding them back. Because those are people I would love to engage with. I'd love to see what they create. Those are the communities that they build, the stuff like that. But the opposite is the people with the big vision decide, I've decided this is right. You're obviously too small and stupid, or you'd be me. So I'm going to do what's right over your face. And it almost always fails. It almost always makes things worse. And people get crushed on the way.
So we're going to have a whole second talk on how to do big vision right, because I'm fascinated at a longer conversation because
looking at history, I don't think it can be done right. I think it's.
You don't think it can be?
It's every worst human being you can imagine in history
had a big vision.
Became the bad people because they had a vision that was bigger than other people.
Every freshman philosophy class starts with, so what's your utopia look like?
Yeah.
Screams.
And you get 30 different answers, right? Some crossover.
In almost everything, you have to at some point kill all the people that disagree with you to make it possible.
I'm fascinated by this because I think Rory's version has an element of realism and pessimism, and I'm not sure where the line between the two is, because that's true. It is objectively true. When your vision is more important than other people, you eventually become the bad guy. You get to the bad guy singularity. Eventually, they become heretics, and you have to kill them all.
You either die a hero.
People. Any vision worthwhile is about people, so you've already fucked it up.
Interesting. And on that
dictating
note,
to instead of including therein.
Yeah.
I think that the problem is inherent in the question. Anytime your picture becomes bigger than the people that are in the picture, you're going to fuck over those people.
It's an interesting idea. Well, next week we'll be back with other colossal questions we can't really answer. Thank you so much. We're kidding.
July 4th?
No, so July 4th, I am off to do the things. So
yay, fireworks. Pew, 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 pew.
Yay. Loud booms that aren't going to hurt anybody, I don't think. So you guys are on next week? I don't know. We'll figure it out and we'll let you know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. And if not, then we'll catch you on the 11th?
The next one would be the 11th, yeah. Oh, we could do a Saturday night waxing poetic. We haven't done a long Facebook Live in a while. We could find a topic and babble for a while.
You see if you can book a time with Galadriel or her shorter sister. And maybe we can get.
Wasn't me, Tammy.
She's too far away to do anything about it.
She's closer to you than any of the rest of us.
That's true.
Okay, we're over time, guys.
All right.
So we're
Later, y'all.
switching over to the private. Thank you guys very much for joining us as always. If you guys ever want to play, you can join the Chiron group with $10 whole a month, and you get to be in the private group and come play and be on the next hour and a half of this chat, or plus, depending upon what happens. So,
Do we have comments of?
the one comment was Keith Webb asking what a Rory righted world looked like, exactly as Rory was explaining how the world would look. So the timing was just absolutely perfect on that one. So. Yeah, that's why was that gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Might end up Spider-Man under those circumstances. Anyway, later, y'all. See you on the call.
Hi, crew.